surround yourself with is who you become, so I like to keep my circle small. That's why I don't spend time with my kids, because they're not innovators. They're not hustlers. They're not making moves.
And then you see them, they're like, let's read a story, let's play catch, or you come into my piano recital, and it's like, you have a business plan? I'm by the hour.
It's like, grow up. My time is so valuable, I don't go to the bathroom anymore. It's a waste of my time.
I just fully stopped sleeping. It's like keto. Once you get past that first week, you're in a whole new reality. I don't see my kids anymore because I'm not sure they exist.
I don't even remember my life when I was sleeping, because I can't remember anything at all. Like, I don't even know my own name. Like, who are you?
And I stay focused. Part of the main reason is I can't see more than 3 feet in front of me at all times.
Tell me who you are.
Wait, is there someone else here?
48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking. Growl. Growl. 48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking.
Gosh, yeah, you know, people have told me, like, you know, that episode you guys had last week with too much poop talk in the beginning. I'm like, you know what? It went somewhere even better, which is two guys on the other side of 45. Or 35, I should say, trying to sound smart, which is another, which is, you know what, you didn't have to go to like a bar, or anything. You just had to be in your car or ignoring your coworkers, you know, any of those things.
Yeah, put your headphones on and just chill. So, exciting news in the world of politics: Donald Trump was indicted.
It's wild. It's a beautiful day, you know, here in St. Louis. It's a home opener.
Yeah.
Last I checked, the Blue Jays are beating the absolute fucking snot out of us, and Donald Trump has been indicted.
What a great day.
Just really yeah, like
I'm feeling it. I kept saying, "Oh, it's never going to happen."
It's Mueller time, baby.
It is indeed. I'm saying you'll be seeing "Go Patriots, Go Eagles," but I'm saying "Go Robert Mueller of the rule of law."
I don't know if anything really amazing will come of this.
Just the fact that it happened is enough.
Sure, I mean, but he was also the first president to be impeached twice. You know, but we have pretty feckless government when it comes to people in power, even when they're despisable.
Very obviously, doing bad stuff. So
yeah. Because I mean, like, it's taxes alone,
right? That's a whole You know,
that what was the New York Times did that piece like 2 or 3 years ago.
A couple years ago.
It was like the Trump family and like their evasion or alleged evasion of taxes, and you're like, seems like bad.
It seems like that should have been a bigger deal.
Yeah, it was one of those things like, that seems despicable and deplorable and all of these things. It's like, it doesn't seem like a guy fit the highest office in the land, but and it was like, and then most people was like, that's kind of fucked, and they're just like, anyways,
right. And so I have a feeling that's gonna happen with this. It's just it's gonna kind of bounce off people. Now, we started off last episode with pee-pee poo-poo talk. This may seem impolitic, so let me know, but when was the last time you got bricked up over something completely, like, not porno, you know, like not a sexy scene in a movie, but just like you saw an ad for something and all of a sudden it was go time?
Oh, you're talking about just absolutely well, thanks to long COVID, my dick don't work like it used to.
Yeah.
Much to everyone's disappointment or delight, depending on how you feel about me as a person existing.
That's fair.
Man. I mean, probably like good food. Like probably like last time I got Sando was definitely like I was at least like 3/4
stock. Yeah,
I definitely could have like knocked over a full soda can if I did enough.
That's fair. I bring this up because I've been dutifully taking my meds like a good boy.
Yeah,
and then I forgot for a couple days. And I saw an ad for like, I swear, I saw an ad.
Oh, it comes in lilac and lavender now? Oh, God.
No, it was even more. It was like a woman brushing her teeth. And
it's
all
like,
of a
sudden,
oh
gosh, I was sure like her to spit on me.
Right. And it's just like, what the hell?
That's funny.
Like, I was like, oh, I'm 14 again. Just popping them for no reason. Cool.
Well, I definitely... drew a stiff one when I heard that they're getting out the tiny handcuffs for Donald Trump.
Oh, the people plumped Donald Rump or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, no, it's just
I'm sorry, I keep coming back to the Krasensteins, but they're like the dumbest fucking people on the planet.
Oh yeah, sometimes like dumb people are unintentionally incredibly funny.
Somehow, yeah, they kind of stumble into it. Yeah.
The one thing I'm not stoked about all this is like all of the very bad like 2017, 2018 era like shit lib centrist like bad jokes like Kafifi.
Oh, that's definitely going to be making the rounds again. And
yeah, I mean, still people who are actually funny can still bring up Kafifi, and you're like, yeah, okay,
yeah,
good.
but it takes a certain amount of skill.
Yeah,
that some of these guys don't have. You know.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Yeah, I'm wearing my pussy hat to get to the Kafifi store to say Donald Trump is a war criminal and his penis looks like a melted mushroom or something.
Yeah, it's just overheated lip shit. That's just kind of like, all right.
It's a cold pocket. What if there was a hot pocket, but it was cold?
Some Jim Gaffigan ass shit that you're just pulling out.
You don't remember the cold pocket?
I do remember
meme?
the cold pocket meme.
And you're just like, oh.
But I also, when I hear hot pocket, I immediately think.
Pocket.
Thank you. Yeah, I immediately think Jim Gaffigan. So
he has a lot of children.
He does.
He seems to be.
He gets down.
He obviously is laying pipe.
Somehow that guy.
Do you think when he nuts, he goes, hot pocket?
I would if I was him. I don't know. Just to say I did it.
He feels like out of all the comedians I like, I remember liking since I was like a teenager, that if I got to know like some of his inner thoughts, I would be like, oh no.
Yeah. There's a.
Like I feel like he'd be like one of those guys you'd find out that he was like one of those people that's like a Knights Templar, like a modern Knights. You're like, oh no. He does like reenactments and like for like the like kids at like Knights of Columbus, like
right.
the Cub Scouts, and he like comes up and he like slashes a watermelon in half and takes himself really seriously.
Gallagher 2 style, yeah.
Yeah.
So a minor bit of controversy erupted online this week, Brian.
What was it?
The phrase that brought me into researching this was at Private Spidey on Twitter there. Mm-hmm. Pretending to be a cowboy after an AI sound clip of you sucking off a horse goes somewhat viral is insane. What a phrase. Well put. So there is a Hoary Live VTuber, goes by the name of Maury Calliope. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Maury Calliope was the target of some 4chan vandals who created a sound via 11 Labs. The VTuber saying, I'm going to suck horse cock, and then like graphic sound effects and all that. It's like 10 minutes long. It's gross, but it's also very, very funny. So here's a bit of it.
Hey, deadbeats. It's Maury. Just thought I'd let you guys know that I'll be giving up streaming so that I can serve horsecock from now on. So I want you guys to get a good look at my stallion here. Isn't he, like, super handsome?
Oh, she's going to get a yeast infection.
It proceeds in this fashion for a while, but... You
know what? That is surprisingly well done.
Yes, it is. And so a couple of days after, Maury posts a image essentially having all these like cowboy themed things on it, and it was just like, okay, so does she know about this and leaning into it, or
it has to be leaning
in. To be. There's no.
I mean, if you kind of just gotta roll with the punches, I suppose. To some extent.
I guess, yeah. It's just
the show is called 48 minutes. 69 minutes.
420 minutes.
420 minutes. Nice.
Of horses sucking.
Horses sucking. 48 minutes of dogs barking. I'm Brian. This is Jason. We haven't recorded in 2 weeks.
That's right. We're a little rusty.
We're a little rusty. He was down in New Orleans. I was languishing here in the Midwest.
Sorry.
It's okay. You went down to New Orleans. New Orleans is amazing.
It's
you eat
great.
Some good food?
Oh, yeah. Every day.
You get some beignets?
Oh, yeah. Every day.
Every day?
Well, not every day, but almost every day.
Almost every day. God, that's the dream, isn't it?
It really is, and they're cheap. I was really surprised by how cheap they were.
Did you go to the place at the park?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
City Park.
So you get like the really mean catty waiters.
Oh, it's great. I love it.
It's so great. I just want them. I hope they're spitting in my food because I deserve it. That art museum is great too. I don't know if you've ever been.
Yeah, we did a little bit of that. We did a lot of stuff at City Park.
Their photography exhibits are always fantastic, which I do not expect for most art museums to have a good photography. It's usually like one room, like at the fucking St. Louis Art Museum. Not to go on a tangent. We'll get back to what you're saying. You're right. The St. Louis Art Museum like has like a photography section. Yeah, but now it's like we're going to give 2 walls of photography. Yeah, in these 2 rooms. Weak. And then the rest of it's going to be about like some Polish guy who you think is probably a Nazi. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, the one time I did go to that art museum, I was very happy with it. Yeah. They had their big exhibit was Japanese Zen Buddhist calligraphy. Okay. Which was pretty interesting. I wish I remember more of it, but I do remember like a series of screens that were like a monk calling his teacher like a bald fat ass, basically. Hell yeah. Fucking shithead. I really enjoyed it. Also, Mr. Quintron recorded a record in the art museum, Sous Sauvage, which came out in like 2010. Okay. Or 2009. Gosh, I think that was like the last thing I was given to like review for Playback STL, and then I just never reviewed it because Playback STL was circling the drain. Yeah. But used to have like a print version. And all these things. But anyways, I'm sorry. Please go back. No. That was pretty much it for the the AI horsecock sucking video. I thought there would be more. No, really, it's just like, wow, that's really weird. And also, you're leading into it. I feel like that's I guess there's really no other way to go about it. You can't be like, this is not what I stand for or any other, stuff. It's just, I guess if you put up resistance, that just gives them more incentive to fuck with you. But if you kind of lean into it, that takes a little bit of the wind out of their sails. I would think so, yeah. Because I'm thinking like Streisand effect style. Like the more you deny it or the more you don't want people to see something, the more they're going to seek it out. Brand new video game on the horizon, Brian. Tax Heaven 3000, courtesy of our friends Dexerto. Do you need help preparing your 2022 U.S. federal tax return? The new dating game on Steam will help you do it with the aid of a lovely pink-haired waifu. Amazing. It was created by Mischief, an art collective that has a history of releasing surreal artworks for sale, from creating perfume that smells like WD-40, collaborating with Lil Nas X on the Satan shoes, arming a Boston Dynamics robot dog with a paintball gun. I have some other pranks there. This is a visual novel dating sim that not only lets you date a waifu, but she will also help you fill out your 2022 U.S. federal tax form. It is releasing the 31st of March, the day before April Fool's Day. I would figure that'd be a great April 1st release. Sure. But yes, an easygoing, cheerful waifu interested in your personal finances. And as you woo her, she will ask you for your information to aid in your form filing. As Mischief writes about in the About section, corporate tax filing services are, by dint of executive lobbying, predatory, parasitic bottlenecks that deliberately complicate the tax filing process, and I'm assuming they're saying that their lovely waifu dating sim will help you with that. Oh. I'm not giving my social security number to an anime girl. I have done that before, and it has backfired on me. Yeah, it doesn't end up well. Seems like a bad choice. You end up with a bunch of dead crickets. Yeah. You got lucky if that's all you got. That was... Oh, Lord. The potato wedges weren't enough. No, they weren't. A new guy dropped, Brian. A new guy? A new guy. Courtesy of Twitter user @Vrunt. He found this guy on TikTok. The gentleman goes by the name Dr. Do, 1998. Vrunt says of this gentleman, this guy kicks serious ass. He's coming up with the newest, coolest soda combos in the game right now and chugging every single one. Here's a bit of one of his videos.
Now let me tell you something. I got you guys something really good that is going to be very delicious while you play your video games or play online with your friends and stuff. All right? Let me show you something that is pretty unique, all right?
Is this the Child of Joey's World Tour? And so what he's doing in this video that I'm showing Brian is he's poured about a half of a Monster can and he's pouring about a half of a Mountain Dew Code Red in a giant beer glass. And then he proceeds
to slam it in one gulp. Here it goes. Not one gulp, but one drink. No breath. The Red Beast, he calls it. He gives that one a 9 out of 10.
I like the part where he chugged it.
Yes. I think that's my favorite part.
He just goes for it.
He does one where he has V8 and Mountain Dew. Yeah.
This is like some latchkey kid shit.
He does one where he mixes Dr. Pepper and Mr. Pibb, and he calls it Dr. Pibb. He's changing the game, Brian.
Yeah.
He's doing soda TikTok in a way that I don't think I've ever seen it done. Ain't nobody done it before. He's the new GOAT. Here's one. All 3 flavors of the Lean Body Protein Shake mixed together. That's strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla, by the way, which doesn't actually...
It's like a Neapolitan?
Yeah, I think that'll be all right.
Probably okay.
So, Dr. Dew, he makes the custom hats. I desperately want a Dr. Dew hat now. What a wonderful guy. We like finding new guys.
Oh, this is the one I sent you.
Brian sent me this image. It's from a Twitter user at Viagra Pussy.
I didn't even look at the username.
That was the first thing I saw.
I just saw the image. I was like, oh, Jason's got to see this.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even look at who it was. I was just like, here.
at Viagra Pussy, who goes by the name Real Dumbass. That's not even the funny part.
It's not even.
And so, it's been too long. We got it. We were pent up. The post is, looks like the apartment across the street is having a movie night. And it is someone projecting onto a nearby building the jar squatter. One guy, one jar guy.
Yeah, it's...
The iconic stance and the bottle and then the jar, excuse me.
I never thought about, using a digital projector that can cast an image that far away. Just like, here, I'm just going to show Goatsy on the arch.
Well, and that has the added benefit of being a video too. So if you're like, oh, okay, it's some weird performance art.
Like if digital projectors like that existed when I was like 17 or 18,
trouble.
I definitely would have had friends that would have done shithead stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I can't believe I never thought of that before. What a wonderful time to be alive, Brian. All right. Now for the last bit of our roundup of internet shit. Jessica Pin, Brian, have you been keeping up with?
Oh, is Jessica Pin, the cadaver fingering lady?
That's just one of the many things that she's done. But
I'm really tired of this person.
She's been the main character on Twitter for about 5 days straight.
Yeah,
and apparently she hasn't slept. So things are about to get real interesting real fast. Best explainer I found was courtesy of Today in Tabs. Wonderful newsletter. Sign up for the free version. It is worth it. The folks over at Today in Tabs really do a bang-up job. Rusty Foster in particular. Rusty writes... Damn it. There we go. Rusty writes, after a botched labiaplasty left her with damaged clitoral nerves, Jessica Pin decided to dedicate her life to her dual passions of encouraging medical study of the female sexual anatomy and posting through it. On March 23rd, Pin wrote a thread about an art project showing casts of diverse human vulvas in which she wrote, quote, I have a big problem with trans post-ops being included in a vulva diversity video. There were Pepe Sylvia-style diagrams and vulvas circled in red, and a whole exchange where she persistently pressed a porn performer to provide pictures of her privates for Pin to peruse. Rusty, the alliteration game, on point. All of which is somehow in the service of her belief that, quote, post-op trans vulvas look mutilated. Pin has now earned the nickname the Pussy Phrenologist. And proven that there's always a drill tweet not once, but twice. The not once, by the way, a reference to I am being told that the Pussy Oscars, the version of the Oscars that judges women's pussy shapes, has become the latest victim of woke. And the second drill tweet, this is actually Jessica Pin herself, tweeting this. Why do people trying to harm my reputation keep demanding I log the fuck off? This sounds a lot like people trying to use intimidation to get women to sit down and shut up.
So, you know what? Why doesn't she post her hand flaps?
I'm saying.
At this point.
Put up a shut up.
Exactly. Put some skin in the game.
Yeah, literally.
'Cause right now you're just talking shit and I don't appreciate it.
No.
You know, the thing about trans women vaginas being included in this art display, like,
right.
Who gives a shit?
Right.
Like, there's so much of, like, I've heard, God, like,
I'm seeing him take the glasses off and rub his eyes. That tells me that this is a big...
fucking, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
nobody cares.
Let people live their fucking life.
Right.
I mean, sure, I suppose there's some things worth splitting hairs over in life, but I don't know if this is it. You only got one life as far as we know.
And she spent 4 days online
talking about pussy lips.
Right. And it's like, well, look, okay, some of this, I'm sure, comes from some deep-seated shit because, like she said, she had a labiaplasty at a very young age, and it went awry, and, you know, her clit was damaged. Cool. Blame your surgeon, not a trans woman, or not a trans man.
Or anyone.
God, any person.
Why are you taking out on the rest of us? And
the kicker, though, at press time, Pin continues to insist that anyone who doubts her trans dowsing abilities should Google up some vagina pictures online and send them to her. Including a porn performer who was like, no, this is a public platform. I'm not going to send you a picture of my vagina. I'm a porn performer. You can search my name. You'll find pictures of my vagina. Don't get weird with me. She's like, I don't believe you. Electra Rain, the porn star there. That looks a hell of a lot like mine, replying to Ms. Pin. And I was born with it. Just because it doesn't look like yours doesn't mean it's not natural. Pin replying, it doesn't. Look again. Look closer. Ma'am, I am a full-time professional porn star. Not only do I know my own body, my cunt is also all over the internet. I have spent hours upon hours editing video footage of my own hole. I am absolutely confident that this is what it looks like, minus my 2 piercings. Jessica Pin, perfect. Can you link to photos, please? Electra Rain, as this is not a XXX thread, I am not going to drop nudes and have them make their way onto who knows whose timeline, including potentially minors. You are welcome to Google me and scroll through my media tab and see for yourself. Also, I don't mind showing you because it's public anyway, but it's fucking creepy that you need to see photos of a stranger's genitals to believe them about their own body. Jessica Pin, I Googled. Anyone who can see you would not be capable of picking your own pussy out of a lineup. This woman is insane.
You know what's bad is that I got this person confused for a minute with the woman that couldn't define woke.
Oh, no, very different person. Yeah,
but it's the same kind of cursed energy.
Yeah, just this inability to like stop.
And we haven't even got to the part where she like fingered a dead body.
No, yeah, we haven't even got there yet.
Which I don't know. Do we really? I feel like that's all folks really need to know. Like,
yeah, I mean, her post is literally, yes, I bought cadavers to finger them. It definitely wasn't to clarify anatomy after hundreds of OBGYNs refused to be compelled by previous studies and cadaver dissection photos. It definitely wasn't that OBGYNs told me they were too small to include in diagrams. There was also another tweet where it was something about, like, not only buying cadavers to do this, but also, like, doing it in front of her dad.
Doing it in front of her father. I saw that. Yeah, that's real jacked up. Boy, whew. What a terrible main character for Twitter.
Yeah, of all the ones to have, it had to be this one, huh? Into Magazine, intomore.com, Henry Giardina. A TERF literally fingered a corpse to prove a transphobic point about genitals is the headline. I'll link that in the description. Not going to go through the whole article. But
yeah. This what a garbage person. I hope they do need to log off.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. They've needed to log off since well before they even started posting. I mean, they have a history online of just being a shithead. So, it's just, oh boy. That was one I was like, oh man, I gotta say something because this is just too much.
It's bad. It's very bad.
The pussy denier. I don't know. It has logged on.
This pussy doesn't seem ripe to me. I think this is what they call a fool's pussy.
This is one of them fakies. Yeah, no, it's just,
a fool's pussy.
Yeah, it looks like one, but it smells different. I don't know.
It smells like tangerine and rosemary.
Something's off here.
It's a potent duo.
It's a fussy. A fussy? I don't know. There's a word there. I'm not getting it. It's a lot to take in, isn't it?
All right, so let's talk about crypto
scams. Indeed it is. It is time for the crypto scam of the week.
You're listening to 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking, the podcast.
And now it's time for the crypto scam of the week.
Brian.
It's all
too beautiful, if you ask me.
It's all a joke.
It is indeed. Well, where do you want to go first? Because we got two that we could cover today. You brought up SafeMoon.
SafeMoon, they had a liquidity issue, and I think you said they're getting sued. I haven't kept up with them because they're like really boring normie shit as far as crypto goes. Like it's really like there's just nothing really exciting about it anymore except for that one weird like libertarian like wolf hair man that was like their creative guru who like left and then kind of like tattletaled the CoffeeZilla about some things, and
CoffeeZilla did a whole video. Well, that video led to the newly filed class action lawsuit.
Oh yes,
this class action lawsuit, according to classaction.org, does it have an author? Yes, Corrado Rizzi. A new proposed class action outlines an alleged scheme in which a number of celebrities were recruited to misleadingly promote and sell SafeMoon tokens to unsuspecting cryptocurrency investors, while several individuals behind the scenes turned a profit. Among the defendants in the lawsuit are Jake Paul, Nick Carter, Soulja Boy, Lil Yachty, YouTuber Ben Phillips, who the complaint alleges played key roles in pumping up the token and thus inflating its value. And then the lawsuit alleges that in collaboration with these celebrity partners, the other defendants, Brandon John Caroni, other SafeMoon execs, marketed the token while failing to disclose their control over the company and a significant amount of assets available for trading. The defendants' intention behind the celebrity-driven marketing was to eventually sell their holdings for a profit when the numbers were high, a classic example of ye old pump and dump.
Pump and dump.
It was indeed. So, that suit was posted February 18th. Just now, courtesy of theblock.com, SafeMoon liquidity pair compromised in $8.9 million hack. The article states, the B&B chain-based exchange SafeMoon was compromised, according to on-chain records, resulting in close to $9 million being drained from its liquidity pool. A recent update may have introduced a public burn bug, security firm PeckShield said. Now, PeckShield's Twitter account had this to say: the upgrade with the exploited public burn bug was initiated by the official SafeMoon deployer. The official SafeMoon deployer pushes an update that has a bug in it. The bug is exploited. Gotta wonder where that came from, right?
Right. I would say with SafeMoon, those guys seem so clueless that I could see it really being something they didn't catch.
Yeah, but I mean, it had to have been inserted into the code at some point. That's what this analysis has kind of given you, is that like there's a specific chunk of code that's introduced with the update that either was intentionally and malicious or careless on the part of someone.
I'm going to say careless.
You think?
Oh yeah, I remember like seeing on some of like their like Google or like Twitter spaces and stuff back in like 2021. SafeMoon shit's been going on that long, and just being like, oh god, I would hate to be stuck in an elevator with these guys.
For sure. I mean, I would hate to get on an elevator with any crypto guys, but these guys in particular.
But, like, there's like some of them you think like, you know what? I bet they have good coke.
Sure. But I mean, that's not my deal.
I've been told I shouldn't, and every single time I've ever been offered coke, I'm like, oh, this is the most uncomfortable thing I could ever imagine.
Right.
That doesn't involve like someone watching me use the bathroom.
Right.
I remember when I started out as a music photographer, and my mom had these very outdated notions about like the sort of people I would be hanging out with.
Right.
And like I one time was like, you're not like doing any drugs, are you? I'm like, no. She's like, really? I'm like, I see enough people on coke to realize that if it was fun, everyone would hate me.
Yeah.
It just seems like a thing that would make me just even more unlikable than I already am.
Yeah.
So no, like you don't have to worry about your precious baby boy doing coke because it seems like it makes people really obnoxious.
Yeah, I mean the one impression that we always had, my friend Joe, going back to even our high school days, was that we would come off the table going, "Oh man, I need to buy a boat. I need to buy a boat.
I need a boat."
And again, we're in landlocked Missouri, so and if unless you're going on the river or going to the Ozarks, there's really no reason to have a boat.
Table Rock or something.
Yeah, there's no reason to have a boat. The gag being that like you're going to make impulsive decisions and be really pushy about it, and that seems to be holding true. So I would imagine, they probably do have good coke if they're doing all this. Yeah. The other crypto thing that I did want to bring up: CZ in trouble yet again. Yeah, that's right. Binance in the crosshairs. Commodity Futures Trading Commission from the U.S. filed charges against Binance and CZ for allegedly violating rules around trading and derivatives. The quote from the CFTC: Binance has taken a calculated, phased approach to increase its United States presence despite publicly stating its purported intent to block or restrict customers located in the United States from accessing its platform. All the while, Binance, Zhao, and Lim, the platform's chief compliance officer, have known that Binance's solicitation of customers located in the United States subjected Binance to registration and regulatory requirements under U.S. law, but Binance, Zhao, and Lim have chosen to ignore those requirements and undermined Binance's effective compliance program by taking steps to help customers evade Binance's access controls. So
yeah, it's really easy. You just like get on a VPN and go to Binance.com instead of Binance.us.
Yeah, so CFTC is just one of several. SEC is also scrutinizing the exchange, and the Department of Justice looking at charging ye old CZ with any number of securities crimes. So not good.
There's like a lot of other things I haven't been able to look into. There's stuff about like CZ downplaying the presence of Binance in China.
Mm-hmm.
They say, "Oh, we're not involved in China anymore," and it turns like, "Oh,
are you? Are you sure?
Sure." Yeah, I think the hammer is going to probably come down crypto pretty hard next year or two, regardless of what the markets do. I think regulation-wise, I think it's going to get really weird.
Yeah,
I mean, it should get weird, but I think there's going to be some weird stuff like Elizabeth Warren is going to have something that's like, no one's like something completely bizarre and cockamamie that like, even if you're very pro regulation, you'd be like, no one's going to go, no one in their right mind is going to go for that. Like, and then she's, going to run for president again.
And eat shit in the primary. Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah.
It's thanking her husband for being in his own home.
The one thing I got to credit Trump for is the response that he made in a tweet saying, "Thank you for being here. He's supposed to be there. It's his house." When he's right, he's right.
Or I think I think some of Trump's best work has been just fucking trolling Warren.
Oh, minus the Pocahontas thing. That's it's a little played out.
You know what? It wasn't cool, but like she deserved someone to talk to her like that.
There's an acceptable level of dunking, but if you keep using it over and over, it kind of loses.
My favorite one was that she got she did like the 23andMe and found out that she wasn't like Native American in any significant way. And and their whole thing was like,
my grandma said.
Well, the thing was, her thing was doing it was that Trump said, "Oh, okay, if you do it, then I'll give $1 million to the charity of choice," or something along those lines. Yeah. And after this all happened, there was like a thing in the Rose Garden, and a reporter asked Trump about it, like, "Are you going to donate $1 million to a charity of your choice?" He goes, "No, who cares?" Which is the right response. Who gives a shit?
The only other Warren thing that it's still, two of them, two things that stick with me from that particular primary was the James O'Keefe, or no, it wasn't James O'Keefe. It was one of the other chuds. Not Project Veritas. Who was the other?
Was it the guys that said that they were like seducing her?
It was something similar. It was that there was a personal trainer who was a former Marine, and that he was going to town on her.
Oh God!
And they had a press conference.
Wolf? No, I can't remember. Yeah, it was like on
Jacob Woolman. Yes.
Okay. I just remember it was like on someone's like the front steps of someone's townhouse in DC.
Just
and like they brought like their big screen TV, like their flat screen out of the house and put it on like the landing of the stairs. And I remember
it was bonkers, dude.
It was so fucking ridiculous. I remember one time it got interrupted by like a trash truck backing up.
And they stood there looking like, oh, well, okay. And then the other one was the she was trying to catch Bernie at a hot mic, but he just was not having it. You called me a liar on national TV, and Bernie just, we'll talk about this later. She put out a statement that Bernie had told her that a woman couldn't run for president, yada, yada, yada. And then they were asked about it at a debate, and then the debate's over, and they're filming B-roll or whatever. It's all live, and they're running whatever credits, and Warren comes up to him, finger in his chest. You called me a liar on national TV, knowing that her mic was on. And Bernie just goes, can we talk about this later? And just dismisses it. And then Tom Steiner comes up, wants a handshake, and Bernie just kind of looks at him and goes, yeah, okay. just does not give a shit about this guy.
I forgot about that dude.
Wasn't
he the one that was like sweating all the time?
Yeah.
He looked like he didn't know how hot the hot sauce was at the table. Put too much. Now he's got he's got pimp skitters.
Sweating.
Yeah.
And he had that exact look of like a high school guidance counselor who just does not know what he's doing at any given moment.
He's in the weeds.
Yeah, he's bug-eyed. He's kind of. But yeah, that was our little politics roundtable. Little trip down memory lane.
Wow, remember when we thought that those couple of months that we thought Bernie might get the nomination? Wow, gosh, kids. Well, that just thing about that makes me just really cry. Yeah. And my Patagonia jacket into my Ben Jerry's.
It was real to me, damn it. Anyway, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm some pie in the sky, like.
I mean, I'm also the same sort of mark that thought Sami Zayn was going to beat Roman Reigns.
Okay,
so
you know what? That's
they made me believe it. Damn it! I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah, it's that,
from ginger to ginger.
Well, come on. I mean, Sami Zayn, he's a solid performer. I don't know why they wouldn't give him a shot. But anyway.
Yeah, I think it's... Anyways, before we get into other things, I think that's probably one of the biggest mistakes of WWE booking in a while.
Yeah.
In a while.
For sure.
And I speak to someone that went to what I think has been considered to be the worst Raw in a long time, which was in St. Louis last Monday.
No, you were there?
Dee had gotten me 4 tickets for Christmas.
Oh, wow.
And so me, her, and a couple friends went.
Great.
I had a lot of fun. I was grin like a fucking country Hoosier.
Yeah. Now, was that the title card? Was Sami Zayn Roman?
No, Sami Zayn, that was Elimination Chamber.
Oh,
okay, the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania, which is this weekend.
Right.
I'm trying to think what the main event was on that.
Must not have been that impressive.
There's just a lot that happened, but it was one of those things. Like, it was cool, like watching them do all the Carney shit in real time and seeing how they do commercial breaks, and like got to see like people I thought I'd never get to see live, like Ricochet. And see him do all of his little flippy shit. And it was cool, like seeing Rhea Ripley, who I saw at like a house show, like doing like a trios match with Bianca Belair and Kel Gonzalez.
Hey,
against the fucking 3 MMA women.
Okay,
I can't remember their names anymore. Maria Schaefer, the main chick. She's now on the main roster and she's great. Her name is just Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler, who was fantastic. I mean, that was a fun match, but it's cool seeing someone like Rhea go from being like an up and comer to now like a part of like the fucking main roster in the real way. I'm sure she's gonna have a fucking terrible match with Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania because you can't have nice things, and Charlotte Flair has to always retain the belt.
That's the matchup.
I think it's gonna be Rhea and Charlotte again.
Yeah, Charlotte's gonna keep it. Come on.
Yeah, they give too much shit to Charlotte.
Right.
Gotta watch Johnny Gargano get his first main roster loss against Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio's shitty son, who is now doing his hair like Eddie Guerrero from the whole winner gets Dominic match. from a million years ago.
Look, if someone's gonna be emulating Eddie Guerrero, I guess.
Well, I mean, but that's the whole joke. Is Dominic really Eddie Guerrero's kid? That's the bit.
Oh,
so he's gone heel against his father, Rey Mysterio. There's some really great vignettes that you can watch on social media of like him and Rhea Ripley like going to Rey Mysterio's house for like Thanksgiving and like just beating the shit out of him. And, like, it's just really, it's good shit.
Oh, I gotta find that.
They're amazing. Not all of them are great, but they have great moments.
Yeah.
But like Rhea Ripley's this great heel, and that Dominic Mysterio is not a great wrestler and knows he's not a great wrestler, so he just kind of leans in being like the shitty nepotism son in a kind of way.
Well, yeah, I mean, half the guys in the 80s weren't great wrestlers, but they sold it. So
sure,
yeah.
But like it was kind of weird watching him get a clean win on Johnny Gargano.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, fuck Johnny Gargano. We're all losing our shit. And
then yeah.
Well, I mean, it was still a good match and like whatever, but Johnny Gargano is not getting the... Gosh, how much are you going to keep this in? I could talk about yakking my jaw about wrestling for way too long. It was fun. It was fun.
It's entertaining to me too.
All of the wrestling Twitter people that I follow were like, "This is the worst Raw I've seen in a while." And I have to agree. I have to agree that if I were watching on TV, I probably would have changed the channel. Yeah. But to be there, the experience, watching the pops.
So I have a question.
Yeah,
I've never been to a live WWE match. Mm-hmm. I'll give you that. Okay, so between rounds during commercial breaks, did they have like a hype man? Did they have something to keep the crowd pumped? Or
so like one point during a commercial break, they played like a thing on the Jumbotron, like the big LED display they have. That's their backdrop. That was like pro like Iraq war. Like, wasn't it so great that we did that?
Oh,
and
God.
It was, like, me and my girlfriend and my other friends are just like, what the fuck? Like,
how long have they been sitting on that one?
It's just like really weird. Like, you know, WWE, we support the troops, and so 20 years of Operation Enduring Freedom, and blah. And it's just like, this seems like a real big black eye among many black eyes on this country's history.
Yeah, WWE remembers 9/11. You know, 9/11. It just feels really out of place.
Yeah, it felt really. I mean, well, it was the week of the 20-year anniversary of the invasion of Iraq.
No, I mean, I understand that there's a significance, but
it just felt really weird. But what they normally do, like it's weird because how they do their entrances and stuff. I remember like Bianca Belair came out, and so she does her intro, and I've seen Bianca at NXT house show. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's definitely one of my favorites right now. She comes out, does her thing, she fucking kills it, and then like goes to a commercial break and the lights go down, and so she's just kind of like twirling her ponytail and like kind of doing some stretches and like talking shit with some of the other, talking to the cameraman.
Right.
There's definitely like a PA or a script guy that's like down behind the cameraman like feeding her notes.
Yeah.
And then like there's like a thing with the light display above the ring that shines outward, so everyone knows like, oh, we're coming, like in 5 or in 10.
Yeah.
And then like she gets back into position, and then like her theme song comes back on, and then it's like
as though nothing happened. Yeah. They've got it down to a science. I mean, I will agree.
It's pretty interesting how quick they do like ring changeovers and stuff like that.
Yeah, that seems like that would be very.
Yeah, it was fun.
Like a pit stop, like a NASCAR pit stop. You got 5 guys up there.
Oh, dude, like changing ring mats over because like we got a little late, so we didn't get. They usually tape main event beforehand.
Oh,
and I got to see Patrick Dempsey, William Regal's son.
Okay, different guy.
I guess so. Dempsey's. Charlie Dempsey. There we go. And I forget who he wrestled, but it was a fun little match. Some guy whose manager is MVP.
Okay.
Like they're kind of like trying to put back the Hurt Business back together. And it was a fun little like match. It was a lot better than the almost Mustafa Ali squash match that lasted 45 seconds. I think was what really turned everyone off on the episode.
Oh no. Oh boy.
Because Mustafa Ali is like this incredibly talented guy.
Yeah.
And he won his release and was very vocal about his release because he wasn't getting used right and he didn't get it. So now he just like shows up to get the shit kicked out of him. It's kind of sucks.
So he's become like the tomato can kind of in boxing terms, just like this guy who shows up to get beat up.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. I mean, I guess he's getting a paycheck and like supports his wife and kids, but there's not a lot of pride in it.
I would imagine not. But
No.
I mean, a job's a job, I guess. You're not back at the state fair level.
Well, a guy like him go to Impact or AEW.
Yeah, sure.
Or even go over to Japan and
he
make
could probably
a killing.
make some. Yeah, he could probably make some money in Japan for sure.
But yes, anyways.
Enough about wrestling.
Enough about wrestling, and cut out as much as you want.
Oh, no. I will leave in as much as I care.
We're here to talk about the trials and tribulations of a teen dad.
Not any teen dad, but
Teen Dad 13.
That's right.
A little... I think about this account from time to time because it feels like a very interesting capsule.
Yeah, as an artifact.
Yeah.
Of a certain time period in social media.
Teen Dad 13 is a social media presence on Twitter. There was also a Facebook page that was someone purporting to be a teenage father,
right,
of a little boy named Michael, who the baby mama was someone named Taylor, and he was really into playing Halo, things like nunchucks, John Cena, and he may or may have not have worked at a Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay.
And there's just let's just scroll through here.
So here's one from December 7th, 2011. This account is still on Twitter, by the way, at TeenDad13.
Yeah. There hasn't been any posts since 2015, I believe.
Correct. Yeah. Was getting all ready to jerk one out, then got distracted by Mr. Popper's penguins. Watched all 90 minutes with my dick out. Here's another one from a couple days later. If you're going to have your birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese, at least invite some hot little bitches to grind on. That's the point of the Pizza Time Theater. So actually, this really feels like a combination of text from Bennett. It feels like a combination of No Power Aid USA guy. I can't remember his name. Was it Alex Murphy or something like that?
It's something like that.
And so it's an amalgamation of a bunch of different things. His posting style is very reminiscent of drill in a certain way.
Yeah.
With all the weird spellings and using numbers. And
Stepdad still holds up 3 fingers and gives 3 minutes of silence every time someone brings up Dale Earnhardt.
Laws don't apply to babies. You can have them sit on your lap when you do donuts in the road in your Cutlass Sierra, and it's cool.
Michael, who is his little boy in this narrative, Michael's had the driest turd sticking 2 inches out of his asshole for a whole day now. Still not sure if I should snap this sucker off.
Has anyone tried, TRYED, by the way, smoking weed out of an empty calzone? Please post review or video how to. Caught Michael looking at anime. He knows I'm upset. Only punishment I can think of is for him to watch every anime.
Here's one from 29th November 11th. The word SmackDown puts Michael into a frenzy. He tore out all the mesh out of his playpen and cracked Gamma over the head with bead mace.
June 2011. I made a big splash last night, which is double entendre language for throwing big rocks in water and getting Taylor's pussy wet. So either this was a guy... it's a character, right? This has to be a character. This isn't a real guy, right?
I mean, I think the photo is a real, like, the person who was doing it, because I do remember photos, because a lot of the media attached to this account is like TwitPic. This is how old this account is.
Yeah, that's classic, yeah.
And not all the links work. I think the last TwitPic link works is him saying, I think I got ripped off. And if you copy and paste the text, it's a photo of a bootleg John Cena wallet.
Oh, man. Let's see here. I should start... Oh, here, more John Cena posting. I should start a John Cena parody account to give inspirational quotes. Inspirational with an A, by the way. And stuff, since he's an inspiration. Plus, everyone, the number 1, likes John Cena. Let's see. So bummed I can't go to Gathering of Juggalos this summer. Todd is going 2nd year in a row, and he's totally getting some sweet Needin, which is a very Juggalo-specific word for pussy.
Yes. Here's one from 17th July, 2011. Oh, cool. An all-you-can-eat salad bar. awesome. Awesome spelled AWSUM. I can eat as much as I want of the gayest food ever.
Shit post after shit post after shit post, but I swear I just saw The Rock walk into an Old Navy. Like, that's not necessarily by itself. Well, it is kind of funny.
Contextually, I mean, when people weren't really doing a lot of this.
Yeah.
But the claim, I think the thing that I remember the most this account for is that if you go onto the Facebook page, that someone from Mountain Dew sent him a copy of Halo ODST, I think, and like some Dew bucks.
Yeah, because he kept posting about Halo and Mountain Dew on his account.
Yeah,
right? He's very, very prolific about that. Here's July 7th, 2011. How much toothpaste are you, the letter U, allowed to eat, legally speaking? Surprised Colgate didn't get on. There it is. Look how cool Mountain Dew is. The Mountain Dew. Let's see here. Dear Daniel, been trying to figure out how to ship this product to you. And then some part of it's covered up. Thanks so much for your support of Dew. Hope you enjoy it. We're a big fan of you too. Keep doing what you're doing. Sincerely, Nate. And that's the official at MTN_Dew. That's the official Mountain Dew Twitter user. That's Nate Jeffrey. And it has his business card on there. And it has an Xbox 360 and Halo Reach. Not ODST.
Sorry.
It was Halo Reach. And a couple of 12-pack coupons. It says 12-pack selected sodas. Any Pepsi soda, it says.
Just to go through like the legacy of this account. The followers that I have for this account.
Okay.
Of people of note, I have Twitter poet laureate Patricia Lockwood.
Okay.
Tree Bro, R.I.P.
Oh, rest in peace, yeah.
Fiad people, Dan O'Sullivan, Pitcher Plane, the artist Pitcher Plane.
Yeah, yeah.
Mike's Rad Tweets, or tweets spelled Twites.
Yeah, twats.
That was a very good old school account.
Chapo FYM co-host Lowen Afchin.
Of course. Bob Mackey of Talking Simpsons and Retronauts.
It's Bob, also a essay front page writer. It's Bob, Bob Servo Mackey. Yeah.
And Frolicsio, if we're talking about something awful people.
Oh, yeah.
James Urbanik.
Oh, yeah.
From Venture Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Leon, www.youtube. Joseph Fink of Welcome to Night Vale follows.
Yeah. John Hedren.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Fart, of course. Yes.
Dude Hugs. Yep. Let's see here. The actor Peter Serafinkowitz.
Amazing.
Fantastic. Extra napkins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just what a collection of some of the really good... Swimp.
Swimp, of course.
Yeah, Woodmuffin. Some real... Shut Up, No One Cares, a classic account there.
Classic.
Kath Kruger, fantastic.
Yeah.
And I Love Pets 420, who goes by Ted Theodore Kaczynski. Fantastic. So, yeah, just...
10 out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely. No notes. Yeah, if you haven't already, definitely just to read these old tweets, because like his last tweet, November 23rd, 2015, clowning on some sweet puss. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Hit me up. And I really hope that someone did. I really hope that someone got Daniel some of that sweet puss.
I couldn't find the tweet, but there was like a lot of weird stuff about Chuck E. Cheese's, and one of them was just like kids like crumping on each other and like grinding. Just really absurd stuff. And this was also like the era of Twitter where, it was either people that were being incredibly overly sincere, brands, which were generally part of that group, and shit posters.
Right.
This is when I could go on like Dick's Sporting Goods Facebook page and be like, your name is really offensive. I don't like going to penis. And like getting like this like 2-paragraph apology from some poor intern. I believe Dog Boner was a big proponent of that technique.
Drew Fairweather at Drew Toothpaste was as well. He actually does. It's just, I think he's still doing it. The stuff that's local to him in Ohio. I was there with my wife, and we got diarrhea or whatever.
We got diarrhea at the fabric store, and I'm suing you for damages.
Right, and then he'll get a very earnest response from someone. It's really something to behold. I'm going through. And I said, from Teen Dad 13, Chuck. So I'm looking for Chuck E. Cheese tweets about crumping. Because, blasting that Boondocks real early on Chuck E. Cheese. Pizza prep Juggalo-style dark carnival-inspired toppings. a minor niche, super niche corner of the web there. But that type of thing used to be a lot more common. You used to have a lot of these, little Tree Bro we mentioned. A couple of these guys were, you get a small following,
but there was, I remember I brought up the shit posting account where the guy just kept changing gimmicks and ats. So it went from being a guy that thought that the pitcher was the most pathetic person on a baseball team to the Rasta ball with AIDS, the Rasta tennis ball with AIDS.
He just threw a bunch of shit around and was like, "Does this stick? Did we get
this?"
It
was beautiful. Oh. This is for the deep doggers out here. The last time I mentioned this account, I had that particular account that the guy that hated the pitchers and became the Rasta tennis ball with AIDS. That account came back in a weird way.
Really?
I had mentioned that it had come back. Something really weird happened with it, where it was the guy was shit posting in that voice.
Okay.
And then it became about how the Rhode Island State Patrol murdered my brother.
Jesus.
And then it was photos of cops, and it was this is where it happened. Here's on the highway, and I couldn't tell if it was shit posting or not, because it really felt like such a broken brain moment.
Yeah. Wow. I'm gonna have to find more about that. Yeah, that's wild.
All right, so that's
Teen Dad.
I'm a teen dad, and I'm working hard.
He is indeed. He's if you're not going to bring hose to the Chuck E. Cheese, what the hell is the point?
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Shock.jpg.
So, Brian, I don't know if you're a fan of Blink-182.
Not really.
Okay, that's probably good.
That pause right there was do I hate this band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. Look.
Where are you?
Right.
How many times I had working a Guitar Center in 2004 that I had to listen to the fucking Pyramid song or whatever.
Yeah. Sorry.
But please, you're going to show me something gross. So
yes.
So please continue. I don't like the band, but you're going to show me something offensive and tasteless. So.
Well, unfortunately, because Flash is no longer a thing, I can't actually show you the thing, but it is, of course, shock.jpg time. Blink-182.com was a website created by the folks who made heyya.org. So, courtesy of the Screamer Wiki, who we owe a lot of this segment to. Thank you so much to the folks at Screamer Wiki. It misleads the user to thinking the site is referring to, of course, the band Blink-182.
Sure.
The site has nothing to do with the band. When the user visits the site, they are greeted with a GIF of a woman lying on a bed as another woman shoots a banana onto her face using her anus, followed by the bananas refrain from the Gwen Stefani song, Holla Back Girl. It is bananas. And it just loops like that. It's there's not much to it, but it's gross in a very funny way, I think.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was intentionally misleading Blink-182 fans is particularly funny. Just because what was it? It was 2007. So this was, well after their peak. Enema of the State peak. Yeah, this would have been...
Take off your pants and jacket.
Right. That was a couple years after that album came out. So it would have been, the kind of fallow period where everyone was doing their own thing for a while.
Yeah.
Travis Barker put out a fucking stupid album with a bunch of rappers. Oh, it was Dark Times. Boxcar Racer came back.
Oh, gosh, man.
Yeah. So this...
I feel like I gotta go rearrange my top 8.
Yeah. That's fair. The only Blink-182 album that I really liked was, 2, Buddha and Dude Ranch, but... even then, it was like, kind of getting on my nerves here, dude.
Yeah, they really only had like a couple modes.
Yeah. There's one song called Zulu that I really enjoy, and it's just because there's a line in the chorus where it's run into the biggest pile of shit because that's where I'm going to blend in. Like, cool. That's the kind of self-loathing that I like in music.
Yeah, I'm into that shit.
Right. But they didn't really keep that up for very long.
I have a good imagination.
Yeah,
so
and I was going to say, yeah, Flash video dying has really been
no one's updated the website to HTML5 compliance.
No, sadly, the Blink-182 got wind of this and got the site actually taken down, so it is no longer live. If you go to blink-182.com, it redirects you to Blink-182.com.
I wouldn't be amazed if they just bought the domain for a ridiculous amount of money.
They probably did, and then just redirected. Yeah, just kind of like how we do with 48minutesdogsbarking.com.
Mm-hmm. No?
No? It was probably the most ham-handed segue I could have possibly done there, but
it's okay. We're a little rusty, baby.
We're a little rusty. We're having a good time. I think it's time for the breath mint, Brian.
Oh,
that wasn't too gross, so I think our breath mint can stretch out a little bit. We can.
I'm trying to think. So talked about Raw. Mm-hmm. Have you had a chance to play the Resident Evil 4 remake?
I have not. I've been playing Dark Souls 2 again. So
oh god,
yeah.
Were they fucked up the roll?
You had to level up ADP to get your iframes back? Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Not great.
Yeah. Let's take that, noob.
Yep.
Fucking get good.
Yeah. So I've been going pure sorcerer and just like, I'm gonna play easy mode on this fucking game because once I finished Elden Ring, I was like, I'm going to go back and beat the Dark Souls again because I have some sort of problem with my brain.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I'm midway through Dark Souls 2. But anyway, RE4 remake.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
There's some pacing issues. I
feel like there's a butt coming. All right.
It looks really great.
Yeah.
Like the Resident Evil 2 remake, it feels like a very faithful adaptation of the original source material and building on it in a very loving way.
Okay.
Tonally, it's going more for a horror vibe, a la like Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil 7, than the kind of campy B movie.
I was gonna say, yeah, it really felt very silly in the original versions, yeah.
Which honestly, I kind of miss. I kind of miss.
It was the charm. That was the charm of it, I think.
But it's fun. The combat doesn't feel as good as the original Resident Evil 4, which is weird.
Yeah.
I kind of miss the Resident Evil 4, like some of the ways that you could kind of cheese things that felt like they were intentional.
A little bit of the jank.
It's if you're used to playing the original Resident Evil 4, like just the first like village segment where you're waiting for the bell to ring feels fucking brutal. I like when I was playing the chainsaw demo, which was just that section that came out like a week before release. I was getting my fucking ass handed to me, and I'm like, okay, and I've kind of figured out the verbs a little bit better and like it got okay, but my girlfriend's coming over and she's like, you still in the castle? I'm like, I don't have any time to play.
Yeah
Ramon Salazar has got a different characterization. It's not
a goofy little dude.
He's a goofy little dude, but like a little bit more menacing and a little bit more villainous,
which I guess works.
It's good. It's worth playing.
Sure,
it's a lot of fun and it expands some of the lore in a way that I really appreciate. Most of the stuff they've added is really fucking good. Some of the stuff they've taken out feels a little funny.
I mean, I've read a little bit, and I know that you can use the knife to parry, which kind of takes some of the challenge out of certain sections.
I have yet to do a knife parry.
Yeah.
Because knowing to do a knife parry involves like looking at the little knife thing by your health bar, and it'll tell you like hit right trigger.
Yeah, and
it doesn't feel like very rhythmic. I haven't really figured out where the frames are on that.
Gotcha.
Some stuff in the village area that feels a little truncated, but then they add a bunch back with like the lake kind of being like a hub space.
Okay.
And some of that's pretty neat, but that felt like a little bloated. Castle is much darker and gloomier. And it's not like it doesn't feel as fantastical.
Okay.
Even though you do have to like kill a giant troll man with a cannon.
Okay.
That somehow feels very grounded.
Somehow? Yeah.
Somehow.
I mean, I can go on with my first.
Yeah, go on with your thing. Resident Evil 4 remake, play it or not, go to hell. I don't care.
Do what you want. I'm not your mother.
Yeah. Just don't do it in my front lawn.
That's right.
Lawn.
So I got to catch up on some movies during our New Orleans trip, and a couple of the standouts I'm going to kind of bring up here. I had seen it a long while back, but I didn't have any fresh memories of it. It's a Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds Men in Black style goofy action movie called R.I.P.D., the Rest in Peace Department.
Oh, God.
It is a baffling little film. Kevin Bacon is the bad guy. You love to see it, first of all, but also, what? James Hong is it? It's a strange cast. It's a very interesting story about a cop who his partner kills him, and he's about to go to heaven, but then the afterlife cops nab him and say, you're going to bring back demons. They call them deados because it's dead people. It's very fucking strange. It just hit Netflix because also Netflix got the rights to the sequel starring the guy from Burn Notice and no one else from the original film. So we watched the two back to back. R.I.P.D., probably the better of the two. Gotta give you that.
I would just say, just by the description of the second movie, having like the guy from Burn Notice, and that's it.
And that's it. It's an old-timey gunslinger sheriff from the Wild West days, teaming up with a modern cop, going back to Earth to bring dead people back, or to kill them if they don't comply. So very weird propaganda movie. It's also goofy as shit. Like, it's real. All of the stuff that's supposed to be like terrifying is just funny. Like, the CGI looks real goopy and weird, and the action sequences are just silly as shit. And because they're already dead, they can't be hurt. So like none of this shit has consequences. So they can do things like crash cars and like do other stuff and survive it. And like none of it, doesn't. There's no consequences. So because there's no consequences, the movie just kind of fucks off and does whatever for a while. It's kind of fun. But it's also just deliriously dumb. Yeah. It's a dumb movie, and if you like a dumb movie, it's not a bad way to spend your time. The second one, less funny. Yeah. They try to be serious, and that's not how you do a dumb movie. If you're doing a dumb movie, know you're making a dumb movie, and just make the dumbest fucking movie you can. Yeah. Like, my favorite dumb movie is a movie called Shoot 'Em Up. It's got fucking Clive Owen and Paul Giamatti.
Clive Owen post Children of Men.
Correct. And Monica Bellucci. I mean, all heavy hitter actors, but none of them are taking it seriously, and it fucking rules. It's the dumbest fucking movie. I love that movie. So yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do a dumb movie, get it.
Speaking of dumb movies,
yeah,
I've been meaning to mention this for a minute, but friend of the pod, Danny.
Yeah.
Are you the one that hates the phrase "friend of the pod"?
No, I just make fun of it. It's fine.
Oh, okay,
it's fine. Friend of the pod, Danny.
Friend of the pod, Danny had never seen The Ring.
Oh, The Ring.
And so we watched that a couple weeks ago.
The Gore Verbinski remake or the original Japanese one?
The remake.
Okay.
Which I still think holds up. Mm-hmm. I still think it's a really, really great movie.
Yeah.
When I remember renting it from Blockbuster.
Oh, yeah.
To impress a girl. And we both really liked it. And we put fingers in each other. So a lot of great memories associated with that movie.
I was going to say, did you come or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
He's got Naomi Watts in the movie. I mean, I'm halfway there.
I mean, everyone's busting nuts. Anyways.
So what did Danny think of the movie?
He thought it was great. I still think the scene with the horse on the ferry is probably one of the most effective horror movie scenes ever.
That and Brian Cox in the bathtub.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot that's Brian Cox.
That's Brian Cox from Succession, my man.
Yeah. We'll talk about Succession in a minute.
Of course we will.
It still holds up. I still think it's very solid.
Yeah.
Next week when we were hanging out, Danny was like, "Oh, we should watch The Ring too." And I'm
like, boy.
"Oh." And so the first Ring takes place in Seattle, and
Correct.
The second Ring takes place in like a small coastal town in Washington. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
My girlfriend, who is from the Pacific Northwest, was like, "Oh yeah, I've been there. It's a really pretty town. It's not too far from Tillamook or something along those lines."
Sure.
But boy, is a wet fucking fart. The weirdest thing about it is that the director is the director of the original Ring, the Japanese version.
Yeah.
And the Japanese version of The Ring is a phenomenal movie in its own right. It's terrifying in a different way than
Very
the American
so. Yes.
Ring movie. But boy, it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
People kind of come and go in really weird ways. The evil girl is back, and
they just kind of go, "Yep, that happened." And
it's weird because it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but is somehow, in all of its awfulness, still like really unnerving.
Yeah,
like
it's
a movie
compelling.
that doesn't make any sense. Like it has all these plot holes. The acting is uneven. There's a couple special effects that are really cool.
Yeah,
but like
the deer when she hits the deer with the car, and then the deer.
The deer part is fucking insane.
Yeah, I gotta recommend just for that scene alone, or the bathtub scene. Those are the two that really stick out.
There's like
to
two
me.
or three. There's 2 or 3 scenes that are just or fucking. Oh, okay. Everyone was on their game for this one, and then the rest of it's just like.
For like 10 minutes at a time.
It feels like you're at Family Video in like 2001 and you're renting like a bad low rent parody movie. Like instead of renting the Blair Witch Project, you're renting like the Bear Winch Project.
Yes, Bear Winch Project. That was the one.
Like it feels like it feels like a terrible low budget faux copy of something that's much better and much more successful.
Right.
So that was a weird experience.
A jumbled mess for sure. Did you see the third one? Did you see Rings?
No, I don't think. I think
Avoid.
Danny's adventurism, and maybe we'll watch the original Japanese Ring.
I would if I were you. It's so great. It's right up there with Audition as far as like Japanese horror movies.
I think Ju-on probably still my
Ju-on's
favorite.
Yeah,
Ju-on.
That's true.
I remember seeing. So the Mills Mall had a Regal Theater. The Mills Mall is no longer a thing here in St. Louis, but they had a thing for a minute where they would show foreign films and things like that for one night.
Okay.
1 or 2 screenings.
Sure.
And I remember like looking in the RFT one day at work and seeing like Ju-on, the Mills Mall on a Thursday, like a 7
right.
p.m. screening.
Yeah.
So like me and a friend went, and it was me and my friend and like a couple.
Yeah.
So it was 4 people in that theater.
No, man.
And
that was it,
we were a good distance apart from each other. But it was like just the fact that it was only 4 people made it even more fucking terrifying. And like my friend who I was with was like a fucking real horror buff, doesn't get scared by anything. And I remember like walking out, and he's just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
that's fucking insane. And like the couple that we were with, like when we were like outside of the theater and they walked out, they just gave us this look like,
"What did we just watch?"
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, it was like Cannibal Holocaust levels of just like what.
Yeah, a shared level of that kind of like, what the fuck? Yeah,
that was a great movie to see in the theater. Audition is also fucking fantastic.
Oh, Takashi Miike, you can't. I mean, the dude, in my mind, the dude can do no wrong. But that's a whole nother,
whole conversation.
Yeah,
but Succession. To get back to Brian Cox,
please. Love the man.
Love the man.
He was in one of the best X-Men movies too. He was in X-Men 2.
Oh, wasn't he
Stryker?
Yeah. The only good X-Men movie if you talk to certain people.
I liked, what was the one, Days of Future Past? I liked that one.
That one was okay.
And I liked Dark Phoenix, but not a lot of people did. So
I think I've seen Dark Phoenix, but I can't.
It's got Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Is Jean Grey in that one. So.
I can't fucking remember.
Everything after X3 is kind of fuzzy.
God, I remember seeing X3 in theater and being like, well, I don't have to ever pay attention to this again. Anyways.
And then they made 5 more of them. So
I'm the juggernaut, bitch.
I know. Cashing in on the meme. And Elliot Page as fucking Kitty Pryde was so perfect in that. So it's like, fuck. God damn it. You wasted it.
But Succession, I think the next episode that we watch will be the season finale of season 2.
Oh, season 2. Okay, I was going to say, because it just started up again, didn't it?
I've never watched Succession until my girlfriend introduced me to it.
I thought you would have.
No, like current. I've been dealing with sickness and being busy and other things, and so I guess I kind of turned around my opinion that I don't know how much more of terrible rich people behaving badly I can take, because apparently I'm just a fucking pig for that slop.
Okay, so who's your favorite of the terrible rich people?
Of the kids?
Yeah. Because the adults don't matter. It's not.
I mean, they're all adults. But you're talking about Brian Cox's children.
His generation.
His three kids. For whatever reason, I want to see Kendall do good, but every single time Kendall does something good, he immediately does something.
Yeah, he immediately
shitty.
backtracks on it.
He's dead inside.
Yeah,
and he self-sabotages constantly. I mean, Roman's kind of like the comedy relief, but
at the same time, kind of a fun character.
Yeah, he's a fun character, and like Shiv is kind of blissfully unaware of her own privilege and thinks that she can outmaneuver people, which
and I think that's what makes it funny, though.
Yeah,
when you see her try.
I think it's interesting how this terrible fucking show makes me feel sorry for an absolute fucking goblin of a human being like Tom.
Yeah,
like when he interviews the Ravenhead or whatever about his Hitler connections, and he's like, "Well, I heard you have your dog is the same name as Hitler's dog," and the guy is like, "Oh no, it's not." He's, "Oh gosh, it's a different spelling."
We're almost there. Yeah, he's a lot of what happens at that show is like you almost had me on your side, and then you fucked it up. Like, yeah. That's I think the push and pull of the show, and what makes it work is like all the actors are good in it, but they play such despicable shitheads, and they do it so well that you're compelled to see what's next.
Yeah.
I think that's a big strength of it.
Yeah, because when you're that obscenely wealthy, all it's left is to keep yourself from not being bored.
Right.
And
it just started raining really heavy. Sorry.
Oh wow. Oh is my pussy so wet? My man pussy so wet from all the talk about Succession. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the show. Just really stellar performances all around. Trying to get caught up, because season 4 just started.
Yeah,
and all that, and so I've really been enjoying it. I've really liked the palace intrigue, and
that was the part where I thought when I first started it, I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to get into this. This seems real kind of Machiavellian and whatever. Yeah, but you do kind of get into it after a while, and it gets its hooks in you.
It does. It's like they all deserve the wall.
Oh yeah, for sure, no question.
But I can't say it's not a compelling story.
Right.
The directorial style. I've never worked for billionaires, but I've worked for rich people, rich families, and just like watching the same things unfold, the same backbiting and siblings fighting over when the old man finally decides to kick it or retire.
Yeah.
On a much smaller scale. I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen this play out a few times.
Which I think is
from some distance, but I've seen the cliff notes.
Right. So it feels more real to you having that context.
Yeah.
So I watched I love Edgar Wright's movies. I really want to watch everything he's ever made. And I sat down and I watched Last Night in Soho.
Wow, I've heard not great things about that.
It's not as bad as all that, honestly. I gotta say, it's a very solid thriller. Mm-hmm. It's about the world of fashion, but it's mostly about 1960s London and about what a weird time that was and all that. So the basic plot is that there's a fashion designer who's kind of homeschooled almost, and so she goes to the big city, and she's going to be a big fashion designer, and she takes this room for rent where a woman was murdered in the 60s.
Yeah.
And every night when she goes to sleep, she and this woman have this weird connection, and so she's going into this woman's experience. And so you see her in the mirrors. The movie loves mirrors. It's really fascinating with that. Anna Taylor-Joy is the woman in the 60s. The man in the 60s is Matt Smith. We love our Matt Smith here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's insinuated in the movie that same character is later played by Terrence Stamp. But we find out later that that's not actually the case. But Terrence Stamp is in it. You got some great British actors. You got some Anna Taylor-Joy's in it, which this builds on me like, oh yeah, I really liked her in The Menu. And so I was like, okay, well, let's see this. It's a big visual treat. They really pour on some of the cool stuff about lighting, and they costume design is great. Edgar Wright's known for his needle drops, so like every needle drop in that fucking movie is just stellar, including, and I did not know this, the original version of I've Got My Mind Set on You. Now, because I was a kid who grew up in the 80s and 90s, I thought I Got My Mind Set on You was a song George Harrison wrote. Apparently it's not. Apparently it was written in the 60s. Music's great. Visually it looks cool. Story's kind of a stinker because it kind of dissolves by the end. It's a mid-grade thriller.
One of those things that shits the bed by the third act.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the big reveal. I'm trying not to spoil it because it is worth watching just for the eye candy. It's a very good-looking movie. But yeah, I definitely recommend it just for the fact that it's a solid thriller. It's got some great visuals. Everyone in it, everyone who acts in it's great. And then the other thing that on the trip I was reading. I don't read as much as I used to. Gotta be honest. On the trip I was reading a book by John Waters. John Waters.
Oh, he's gay.
Yes. Yes, Brian. You've seen the mustache. We know. But no, John. Apparently, this was not John Waters' first book, but it is most recent. I did not know it even come out. It's called Liarmouth. It is a goofy, somewhat surreal, supernatural crime thriller. It's a John Waters movie. He wrote it down. It's very silly. I definitely recommend it because it's just completely absurd to a certain point. There's a guy who goes through the movie. See, I keep the John Waters.
Mm-hmm. The book.
Yeah. There's a guy who goes through the book, and at a certain point he breaks his dick, and then his dick then somehow has magical powers, and it's talking to him. It's very bizarre. It's just full of those little John Waters details that are just so goofy and silly and weird, and it's all like a lot of John Waters stuff is about weird people kind of coming to terms with how weird they are and all that. Worth a read. It's a pretty slim volume. You can blow through it in about a day if you really put your mind to it. This woman steals stuff out of people's luggage at airports, but then she gets caught and she's on the run, and then her partner is also on the run, but he's trying to get to her because she promised him if he worked with her for a year, he'd get to fuck her. And so, that's his whole driving motivation is that he's like, I gotta find her and I'm gonna get what's mine. So it's
amazing.
Yeah.
It is very John Waters.
It is, yeah. He definitely, and the whole thing takes place, of course, in Baltimore because that's where he lives and where he's from, and so it's fun. It's a fun little book, but I can't really, you gotta have a taste for weird shit if you want to get into that book, but. I did start a new TV series.
Mm-hmm.
I finished The Last of Us on the break there while we were in New Orleans, and it destroyed me like I figured it would. But after Last of Us, we picked up Evil. Evil is a supernatural crime procedural. It's kind of it's got its feet in both worlds. It kind of wants to be the X-Files. It kind of wants to be CSI. It's odd, but it's great. Cast is great. I love the fact that they got Michael Emerson from Lost and from Person of Interest in that as someone who is basically the devil. In the first season, he's picking up these incel guys and basically training them to become mass shooters. It's it gets real fucking weird. I like it. It's real fun, but it's kind of a trifle at the same time. It's it's a procedural. There's a new, because the whole thing is that they work for the Catholic Church, and the Catholic Church has this big list of things they have to determine whether something is really a demonic possession or if there's some scientific explanation. That's where the X-Files thing comes in. Because of course you got a skeptic, you got a true believer.
Yeah.
I mean, you can almost see some of these beats coming. There's a will they, won't they romance bit. You can throw a dart and hit the right answer 50 times out of 50, but it's still enjoyable. They have this great bit where any time that Michael Emerson or any other people that you're supposed to believe are demons are on screen, it's a Dutch angle of some degree.
Yeah.
So you're clued in visually almost immediately. There's something wrong here. The camera's tilted over here, and you're doing it's fun to watch. It's a good show, but don't expect too much from it. That's all.
It sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Got one more for you.
Yeah.
So last week went to a little concert over at the Blueberry Hill Duck Room.
Oh,
little Canadian twin duo.
Okay.
Called Sulf Cult.
Okay.
It was fun. It was interesting.
What kind of music are we talking?
You know, they describe themselves like as kind of like alt rock, grunge, Riot Girl, DIY, which was definitely applicable, but a lot of their songs, particularly the stuff that they've been leading with, like singles wise, reminds me of late era Sneaker Pimps.
Interesting.
Like kind of
Bloodsport era?
Kind of Bloodsport era, yeah, definitely. Oddly slick.
Okay.
Very well produced, very well performed. Their new EP just came out. They got like a great piece in Stereo Gum, got a great piece in Alternative Press. The only thing, like, I think they got the goods. Like, I was really impressed with performance. I'm still working with this new camera, which is a medium format digital, which is a very more methodical and deliberate shooting experience, and I'm kind of still figuring out the best way to photograph live music with something like that. It doesn't help that the autofocus is contrast based, which is sometimes tough when you don't have great lighting, because I feel like as time goes on, the lighting in small venues just gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, that's a sad reality, but yeah.
It's weird to think that like in that same room I could have shot Black Lips at like 3200 ISO, f2.8, 1/100 or whatever, 1/200. Got great shots. And the last time I shot Black Lips, I was like 6400 ISO, fucking dragging the shutter way more than I want to, and the photos were just okay.
Didn't you shoot Melt Banana when we were there?
Yeah, I mean that was like a similar situation in ISO 6400.
Right.
All my lenses, they're all f2, so wide open, and those photos were fine. But like that wasn't the most dynamic lighting. It wasn't the most exciting. Wish it had been a little bit more oomph behind it. And I like, off Broadway, much better place to see a show now than it was a couple of year ago. From a photographer standpoint, their lights are really dim, and it's kind of a bummer. But anyways,
the show was good.
The show was good. It was. I had fears that I was watching an industry plant.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get away from that thought nowadays, though.
The sister that fronts the band, it's a singer. She's like the rhythm guitar player, Mercedes. Like would say these things between songs that kind of felt the sort of earnest that would have been okay on Tumblr in 2015. That felt a little weird to hear from a 29-year-old grown woman in 2023.
Yeah.
And I know that everyone is on their journey of becoming more aware of like societal and like progressive, things that are like, talking about rape culture or talking about things like that. Everyone's on their different journey. Like when they came back and did their encore, like their first song of their encore was a song Dress, which is a song about consent and sexual violence and all that. And she prefaced it with, this is a song about consent, which kind of felt fucking weird.
Yeah.
And like there was another song that she prefaced with, this is a song about incel culture and why it sucks. And I'm like, do we like now, like you write a song about incel culture and why it sucks, that's fine, but do we need to put a point on it?
Yeah, I mean some performers do that though.
Sure, but like I don't think AJJ needs to do that.
No, but they're I don't know. I think they're a different
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I'm a cishet white guy,
right,
with a bad back on the other side of 35. Right. So like I'm not gonna have the same experience as like a young woman that has to, but I have health problems from being tear gassed during Ferguson, so I like to feel like I've put my ass out there,
sure,
for progressive things and so on. And I'm not like criticizing these young ladies in the band or anything.
No,
but like I would say like your messaging's got to get a little bit tighter because the cynic in me is like rubbing his hands.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh wow, like you like boy, you gotta get better at that because you're not doing your songs justice and you're not doing this project justice. Because otherwise I think they got the goods, they could probably go far. But it really felt like what what do your parents do kind of thing.
Yeah, are your parents WikiLinks links blue there?
Yeah, like their parents, I think, are like actually used to be teachers and stuff like that. And they're like homeschooled and not in like a creepy Christian way. Like,
right.
It seemed actually like had like a decent upbringing. They don't.
But the doubt was there.
Huh?
But the doubt was there.
The doubt is there. Like, I'm like there was actually a point I texted my girlfriend. I was like, is this an industry plant? And I actually told her, like, if they started telling, I felt like I was at like the level 100 DSA meeting where I was like, if someone tells me to go change a brake light, I'm fucking running for the door.
Yeah.
Like, it felt very much like I was listening to like a nominally left politician going through some coached points. Like, this is what you're going to get the Bernie bros. Mm-hmm. And that's me being a cynical asshole.
Sure.
And there were lots of people there much younger than me that like knew every word and they were totally into it. And it seemed like this music really resonated with them. And that was a really cool experience. Mm-hmm. That's like my only note is like that messaging, get a little tighter on it, get a little less like well treaded. Like find like a different way to introduce your song, because the song Dress is a fucking well produced, well performed, and well written song with really good lyrics. And introducing this is a song about consent. Makes it kind of feel like you're checking a list.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, there's probably a different way to maybe make that more specific.
Yeah, it kind of felt flat, maybe cynical even.
Which can happen. I mean, when you're trying stuff out, you're a new band, you know, like theoretically, yeah, I get what you're saying, but also I'm like, well,
maybe I'm just a shithead.
Maybe. You think?
Yeah, I don't know. Our super fan Ken sent me like a nice message about like, here, I'll even read I haven't responded yet, but this doesn't have to make it.
Oh, I think he would love to hear about himself on the show. So
I didn't understand you when you posted a lot back in the day, talking about like Facebook, I imagine. Mm-hmm. You seemed relatable in person, but your posts seemed bombastic. Seemed like you were trying to be weird and quirky enough to pick a debate. Didn't see this side of you I see now based on your podcast, however genuine that is, if you get my drift. Which is like, that's a very nice thing to say. And it's like, yeah, like 10 years ago, I was just like a miserable shithead.
I was going to say, yeah, you've definitely changed a bit. So
yeah, I was definitely, I mean, I think about like when I was covering Ferguson, my day job was at a fucking Tivana.
Right.
And it was part-time and I made like $100 a week because it was like fucking $7 or $8 an hour.
Brutal.
Yeah. You know, and I'm like fucking, that's my day job and I'm out fucking getting tear gas and like, sure, my shit's getting published and all that. But like shooting as a stringer, like sometimes meant like if a foe sold, like that was like $50.
Yeah.
You know, like it's jack shit. That's fucking nothing. But like I was fucking hungry for it. And so I just think like, yeah, I was like fucking struggling a lot. I was just really throwing myself into that work and seeing not everything go how I wanted it to go and how I think it should have gone. So, I mean, there was also just a point from probably about like 2015 to like a year ago when I was just a miserable, bitter prick. And I really kind of like, you know, I had a friend once say that I was kind of like living my life like I was hurting people before they had a chance to hurt me. And I think like, you know, sometimes that was kind of funny because sometimes those people deserved it. I definitely didn't do myself any favors because, like, I mean, I'd be at a show somewhere and, like, I have a friend with me and, like that person actually I think used to like you, Brian. And I'm like, well, it's like because I had so much negative energy coming towards me. It's like I'm just going to cut you off at the chase.
Right.
And tell you to fuck off before you try and get, like, some fucking, like, shitty fucking Cherokee Street bar bin. Because I was mean. I was hurting and I was fucking broke. And now life kind of, some things about life aren't great right now, but like I have a good girlfriend. Like I went to therapy. I have this podcast. I have things in my life that I appreciate. I have an okay apartment. My job could be better.
That's a whole nother deal.
My job could be doing a lot more things for me. And I'm like in a better place. I wish I was in this kind of place 10 years ago, but like,
sure, don't we all?
Yeah, everyone's got their own path, their own journey. So anyways, the Soft Cold EP is really good. You should go listen to it.
Fantastic. Speaking of coming to the end of a journey, it is the end of the show. Mm-hmm. And we are going to do the very same thing that we always do every episode, where we talk about places where you can find us online. Brian, do you want to start us off this week?
Oh, yeah. You can find us at 48 minutes of dogsbarking.com.
Yeah.
48 minutes of dogs on Facebook and Twitter. On Rumble, we're 1488 minutes of dogs barking. Spicy.
You can find me on Twitter. It's gonna roll right past that one. You can find me draft? That's right. You can find me on Twitter at Videocrime, VIDEOCRIME. Any other social media where you see a video crime, 99% chance it's gonna be me. Aside from Instagram. Instagram, for some reason, somebody got that video crime account and is posting thirst traps on it. So I don't know.
Oh, well, good for them.
Yeah, I guess. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at LaserGooseCEO. You can find the show on TikTok. We don't really post there very much, but every once in a while I'll post one of the little audiograms there. So it's at 48 Minutes of Dogs on there as well. Brian, where can they find you?
If you are looking for someone to help you anti-trans politicians who will not be missed, you can find me at iShotGuidBoard. That's ISHOTGUIDBORD on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you want to check out my photo portfolio, it's assholemusicphotographer.com. If you want to check the photo blog that I have yet to properly update or treat like a thing, it's serious in my life, it's musicphotographer.com. Hopefully by the time this episode comes out, I have what I have to say about Soft Cult and some photos and stuff up on there. If not, come fucking kill me. My life my life isn't worth living. I'm a little jeez, Rick, I'm a little worm. Just a little jeez, Rick, I didn't know you couldn't hit your wife. We forgot to talk about Justin Roiland. He got acquitted.
Yeah,
the charges were dropped.
Yeah. But that he's
14 years dungeon for accusers. I can't do my lemon grab anymore.
It's all right.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
There it is. Well, you can reach out to the show in various ways as well. 314 AHOY POO. That's 314-246-9766. You can call us or leave us a voicemail or shoot us a text. You can also send us an email, 48minutesdogsbarking@gmail.com. And we also have brand new emails for each of us. It's Jason at 48minutesdogsbarking.com and Brian at 48minutesdogsbarking.com.
I thought it was Diaper Boy.
That's an alias. We'll just have to we'll have to redirect. It's fine. So we're going to leave you with a little bit of music, as we always do at this time. It is a group called MS Paint that you and I are big fans of. This song, of course, from their new record. It's called Hardwired. I'm going to play the new version of Hardwired because I like that one very much.
Yeah, it's a fucking great record. I've been listening to it. It fucking slaps.
It
Ken's a big fan of it. I think everyone I've turned on to that record is a big fan. Oh, I did. Just to walk a little back to the breath mint. The Danny Brown / JPEG Mafia.
Oh, you know
record.
What? Yes.
Scaring the Hose.
Scaring the Hose.
Fucking my early contender for my record of the year until the not Danny Brown, but Billy Woods record comes out next month.
It slaps.
It's fucking good. People that don't like it and say it's mixed weird have never I think ever listened to like a weird community radio station.
There's definitely some shit that's on purpose. Yeah.
KHX still has a Friday night hip hop show called Wax Murderers, and they used to play a bunch of stuff that sounds like that, which is like, it sounds like shit that if you bought like an old MPC or like a 404 at Guitar Center, and it's just absolutely caked. And like nicotine stains and all that, and there was like an SD card or a CF card. That's the shit you would find on it.
Oh yeah,
it's like two dudes just trying to like impress their like fucking drinking buddies, like boys in the hood. And, like, it's just, I fucking love it. Like, it's some of Danny Brown's best stuff in a while.
He still sounds so fucking weird, man. I love him.
I love it. It's so fucking good. I love that record. MS Paint's record is really fucking good. I love Post American. If JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown toured behind this record because Danny Brown is winning the rehab, they should take MS Paint on tour.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
That's fucking rule.
Yes. So, yes, we're going to leave you with MS Paint, Hardwired, from that new record. And this is where we say namaste and good luck, motherfucker. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.